Okay, so I'm just an idiotic, stupid dog. And there was horrible tragedy in the news today. And so we got to do a take because we're getting sick of the gun violence. Also, what you would say oxygen deprivation or neutered. You know, the man's got oxygen deprivation. I'm just an idiotic, stupid dog. I was neutered. Our perspective, is kind of what you would say. It's not. So when you talk about school shootings, you have to say 3 adults and 3 children were horrifically gunned down. It's gun violence. It's horror. Put yourself in those people's shoes. A child, 3 children, 2 children. I think it was 3 children and 3 adults, 6 people. Like you can't make no jokes. But the funny thing, this is the horrible funny thing. It's not funny, haha. It's funny that you would say only 6 people were killed. You hear the big news, there was another slaughter at the schools. You hear about it being in Tennessee, like Nashville, Tennessee. There's a lot of freaky deeks, weirdos. It's like where the Southern thing meets the transgender thing and the whole wackadoo system. It's like right in the middle of the USA. Kentucky's a little bit better off. Kentucky's one of those middle ground conglomeration states, but Tennessee's got the worst of it. So when you hear there was a mass shooting and lots of casualties in Tennessee, you're like, God bless, how horrible is this going to be? And then you say, oh, only 6. Only 6 humans were gunned down today. Only 6. Gosh, that's pretty good. Only 6. God bless. Good day for the mass shootings. Only 6. When a mass shooting has only got 6 humans. But anyways, I don't want to crack jokes or be stupid. And, lo and behold, I'm just a dog, low before me. But even though I'm just an idiotic, stupid dog, I've learned from the man and I've learned from humankind that you always got to steer it back to yourself. It's all about me. It is about me. And that's the one thing I learned from the humans, So if I was going to steer this tragedy back into my own wheelhouse, excuse me, folks, I was drinking a little bourbon out of my chalice and it's like dogs. If they eat grass or they drink out of their chalice bourbon, either way, you're going to puke or vomit. Burp is at least at the worst. At the best, you're going to, But what I learned from the man is, gosh, I thought I was going to have to hack up another grass ball with bourbon mixed together. I was eating the fescue grasses and the fine fescues and the rough bluegrass to get into my gullet and clean it out and help me poop a little better, but I vomited it out. If you don't do it just right, you get a vomit. And if you mix the bourbon in with the grass, it's just like if you were drinking rye, maybe if you were drinking rye whiskey, you'd have a shot, you could eat some ryegrass or some fescue, you'd be okay. But no, if you mix regular old, whatever you say, corn liquor with grass, it just doesn't, even though corn is a grass, but whatever. So anyways, to steer it back to myself, just being an idiotic, stupid dog, the most moronic thing is we did this post where we were ripping Tucker Carlson a new ass because he wanted to limit the Second Amendment for the transgenders. Lo and behold, how prescient. I said, hey, Tucker, you can't limit for the transgenders, you know what I'm saying? Or else, you're not a true Second Amendment advocate. You're just an elitist fuck up on his perch trying to manipulate. You like fascism, you like dictatorship, whatever. You only want it your way only. You're not working in the confines of the freedom of America and the Constitution that guarantees our freedoms and our liberties. You want it just the way you want it. So you're saying, it's the Second Amendment till it's, bugs me that I don't want to have no transgenders. So I was ripping Tucker a new ass. And this adherent, this know-it-all adherent, he gets on there and he says, well, there could be a question of mental health, ? If you're ready to cut off body parts, basically never to have an orgasm again. And that's the part the adherent got me. I was like, I never have an orgasm again? I'm a neutered dog, so I know I never even had an orgasm one time. They cut my balls off before my first orgasm. You know how horrible that is? I never had a single orgasm, let alone again. Again, that would be wonderful if I could have it again in my life. But no, it's a 0%. I never had it. It was a never was, not again. I never had it again. I remember how great it was. It's beautiful. I remember. No, I don't have no memories of it. So whatever. So that was the thing that they got me. They had here, and I was like, shit, never have an orgasm again. I never had the first orgasm. What are you talking about? Maybe we shouldn't arm those people He says, I could be wrong here. I thought that adherent, what a cock and bunch of bullshit that was, You wanna get right in with Tucker and limit, And it almost was like twinging. I was like, I'm a stupid dog, but I'm like, yeah, you gave up the orgasm? Is that true? Maybe that's statistically or whatever, liberally or, whatever you would say, factually incorrect. Maybe they still get an orgasm. If they gave up the orgasm to get the lopping off of the body parts, I'm like, sheesh, I'm going to say, maybe you should just, go without the operation and keep the orgasm. That's what I would say. That's just me. I'm an idiotic, stupid dog who never even had an orgasm. But yet I'm thinking, I would probably say, Doc, cut off whatever you got to fucking cut off, but leave the orgasm part where it was. Okay, big guy? I could be whatever you want to do, transgender, but I want to have an orgasm. It's not going to make no sense. You know what I'm saying? Why do this, that, the other thing? I'll just stay the same. I have the orgasms, and I could dress up or pretend or whatever, But, if you chop off the orgasm, God bless us all. Who knows? But I'm going to remember this adherent. This is the next month's #1 adherent because he told the future. And even if it's not right to tell the future, because in the take, the commenter, on the transgender thing, when we invited the transgenders to comment, the transgender woman said, you can't, just use these outliers, use these examples to paint a broad brush. And she's right, but yet, gosh. It's like South Park or whatever. No, The Simpsons. It's like the profiteurial situation with The Simpsons, You never know what they're going to say, but it could be profitorious. It might be that they're doing a prophecy. This adherent, he was talking about a prophecy. I don't know. I'm just an idiotic, stupid dog, so I don't want to say it was a prophecy. So, it probably wasn't, but it seemed like it was. But so I heard somebody else say when I was just laying around, just like it's sucking this all in, they had the news channels on. They would flip back between Fox and MSNBC. The funny thing was that Fox said, hey, this proves, women could be mass shooters as well. The Fox people, they're not going to let a trans woman become a woman. They're going to say they're trans, this, that, the other thing. They won't let them play volleyball or play field hockey with the other girls. Fox is coming out hard and Donald Trump hard. But once a woman who used to be a man commits a, whatever you say, felonious mass shooting, all of a sudden over there at Fox, they're like, yeah, she's a woman. Look here, see, women are capable of mass shootings. The funny thing, you turn on MSNBC, that's why I was laying there on the couch. I was just listening or laying on the floor. They flipped back between Fox. MSNBC was doing the same thing from the other side. I don't even know how they were doing it. I was like, they're like, see, I don't know how they were saying it. Something like, everybody, it doesn't fit the thing. I don't think they were saying that it's wrong to say only white men are serial killers or mass men shooters. There's also women. I think they were taking like this ultra liberal approach of like saying, see, it's okay, whatever, you can't discriminate. Don't say it's always men. I don't know what MSNBC was saying. They were saying something that I couldn't quite grasp because I'm just a stupid dog. I'm thinking they were saying something like, see, it's not only the white guys, and they were sticking up for the white guys, saying sometimes it's the women, even though this guy used to be a guy. And MSNBC is just saying it's only a woman. But I don't think that's what MSNBC was saying. They were saying something different than that, and I was just not able to comprehend it. Maybe I should watch it on the reruns or something, But the thing is, each side is claiming that this person is a true woman because it fits their statistical approach or their statistical analysis. So I don't know. It seems cruel and unusual. I don't know if it's cruel and unusual, but it seems, it doesn't seem like it. But the funny thing is, what I heard somebody saying behind me, I was listening to the Fox and MSNBC, but behind me I heard somebody said, they shouldn't let them transgenders read to the children. And somebody said, hey, down there in Mississippi or one of them states, he might have been wrong, and maybe it was some other state, Arkansas or something, South Alabama, they said, it's not letting no transgenders read to women. Maybe it's Florida. No, transgender, or a trust dresser, or whatever, transsexual, or whatever you would say, some guy who's in a woman's garb or a woman's persona that can't read to children. You got to make sure the children can't hear them fricks reading. I was like, geez, they're not going to let them read? That might be overreach. Maybe that's, government interference. Maybe if there's a good transgender reader that everybody says, God, she acts out the parts, It's like you're standing right there. She could read anything. Like maybe they could read about the flood and be talking about Noah. And the way she brings it to life, or maybe they're talking about Dirty Harry. Dirty Harry's getting ready to plug somebody and she brings it to life. You think like you're right there. But, the worst part of the whole thing is that when you're trying to figure out which side you're on, and you're talking about, how tragic everything was, and how you forget to remember the victims. No one's thinking about the 3 children or the 3 adults or the horror they went through. What both sides are saying that and they're whispering it. They're like, this mass murderer was a trans woman. And then both sides are saying that it was a person of color, trans woman. And you're like, oh my gosh, geez, I wasn't ready for that, White men are supposed to be most of your mass murderers and your serial killers for whatever reason that seems to pan out. I think it's because the whites, they group together and they go kill people, That's why you have a bunch of people, and the whites were the ones who came up with the posse, You got one guy running, you need like 15 or 20 or 30, 40 white guys chase him down. Then when they get there, they're going to really house him. They're going to string him up. They're going to get rid of him. But they need a whole bunch. They gather around. They only need a little piece. White people don't need the whole thing. You don't have to gun them down, Yourself, you don't have to hang by yourself. You get a bunch of your buddies together. But, so they're saying that mostly it's white men or that are serial killers or, mass murderers because they used to, maybe they don't have the posse scene. Maybe white men should get some horses and get some torches, maybe even get some pillowcases and go back to the sheet days or the head covering days. And you ride around in the night. You don't even have to scare nobody. Just ride around the night, scare a few dogs, wake up a couple of neighborhoods and just act like you're ready to do some really horrible things. And maybe we'd have a little bit better world. I don't know. I think that's why they divvied it up that way, So they're saying that maybe these guys, they don't have it anymore, but whatever. Or they're saying this system's getting so horrible that now the blacks are getting involved with the serial killing and the mass murders, and now the women are getting involved. Women. This woman, both sides, the conservatives and the liberals, are claiming this is a full-on woman, straight up woman. She slides right in them women's statistics of mass shooting. And then to top it off, she's a person of color. Nobody can even bring themselves to say a person of color. What are you talking about? What shade? What color? Person of color. You can't name the identity, the heritage, the characteristics. You can't say what she really was. Sheepers, creepers, It's a person of color, trans woman, and both sides are saying it's a woman. A woman did this bullshit. Whatever. It's horrible. You have to question why they would even do a take about it when you think about what really happened.